Welcome to this video lesson. Today we will be discussing the schwa, other single vowels, and vowel diphthongs. Let us begin with the schwa. A schwa is what we call the neutral sound in an unaccented syllable of a word that has two or more syllables. Say these words aloud. Listen to the phoneme represented by the underlined letter while you say these words aloud. When you say the words slowly and distinctly, and artificially, they may sound quite different from one another. But when these words are used in ordinary speech, the underlined part represents a very soft sound. As you can see, the letters A, E, I, O, and U can all represent the schwa sound. Let's do a quick practice. Rewrite each of the words below to show the pronunciation of the vowel in the unaccented syllable. How did you do? The schwa is used to indicate the pronunciation of the vowel phoneme in many unaccented syllables. The use of the schwa for each vowel that represents the short sound, along with the frequent use of short I, has simplified pronunciation keys greatly. Almost all vowels in unaccented syllables represent one of these two short, soft sounds. Without the schwa, each vowel would need a separate diacritical mark to indicate the soft sound that they can all share in unaccented syllables. These words are written to show their pronunciations. What are the words? Although the word part ER has only a touch of a vowel sound, the schwa is used with the R to indicate pronunciation. This is important to remember when dealing with suffixes and R-controlled vowels. Let's use your growth mindset and put it all together to practice with some short and long vowels so you can learn and improve through your effort. The key symbol used to represent many of the vowel phonemes in unaccented syllables is called an. This symbol is useful because here are the answers. Did you get them all correct? In other phonics modules, you have learned about both short and long vowels. So far in this module, you have learned about the schwa. There are still other single vowel phonemes as shown in the words at the right. We will identify these vowel phonemes and suggest a key word by which each can be remembered. Let us begin with the phoneme represented by the letter A in father. This phoneme may be confusing due to regional differences in pronunciation. Pronounce these words aloud. If you do not hear the same vowel phoneme as in father, your pronunciation reflects a regional difference. You are not wrong. Now try pronouncing each word so you can hear the same phoneme heard in father. Did you notice in certain words the sound was almost lost in the R? Study the vowel phoneme in this word. We can barely separate it from the following consonant phoneme, so we call it an R-controlled vowel. Some curriculums call R-controlled vowels murmur diphthongs. Therefore, when the only vowel letter in a one-syllable word or a syllable in a multisyllabic word is followed by the letter R, the vowel will be affected by that R. When pronouncing a vowel followed by the R, the vowel phoneme is almost lost in the consonant. The most consistent R-controlled vowels are AR and OR. The remaining R-controlled vowels, ER, IR, and UR, are difficult to spell because they're often pronounced in words, including herd, girls, first, burn, and nurse. Be aware, the R-controlled vowel is neither long nor short. Pronounce this word out loud. Listen to the vowel phoneme. Ball is the key word that represents the AL phoneme. Say the words in the chart. They all have the same vowel phoneme heard in ball. Some of these words may also be affected by regional variations in pronunciation. As you can see, these phonemes can be represented by several different graphemes. Now pronounce the last word in the word column. The A represents what vowel phoneme? The A in saw represents the vowel phoneme we hear in ball. When an A is followed by an L or a W, we can make this generalization. When A is followed by an L or a W in the same syllable, the A may represent the sound we hear in the word ball. Now let us consider this phoneme when it is controlled by an R. Say these words aloud. In which words is the vowel R controlled? The R-controlled vowel in these words consists of the letter O followed by the letter R. Quick practice. Write these words to show pronunciation. Pause this video clip and attempt this with a pencil. Be honest with yourself. How did you do? Now let's examine the vowel phoneme in chair. Keyword, care. Study these words. Pronounce each word out loud. Is the vowel phoneme the same in each word? In these examples, one vowel phoneme is represented by 6 graphemes. Another R-controlled vowel phoneme is that heard in fur. In fact, it is impossible to separate the vowel phoneme from the R. Study these words. What graphemes represent the vowel phoneme heard in fur? As you can see, there are several graphemes that can represent the vowel phoneme heard in fur. Quick practice. Pause this video lesson to rewrite the words using the correct pronunciation markings. For specifics on how to prove the pronunciations, watch the document camera shorts. Note, the phoneme we hear in fur is not the same as the phoneme heard in the unaccented syllable of a multisyllabic word, as in lemon, or the phoneme heard in a suffix, as in farmer or smaller. There are 2 broad generalizations that may be helpful in determining the pronunciation of these single vowels in unknown words. If the only vowel letter in a word or syllable is followed by an R, the vowel will be affected by that R. If the only vowel in a word or syllable is followed by L or W, the vowel will be affected by that L or W. Again, regional variations in pronunciation of these words may cause you some difficulty. Let's use your growth mindset and put it all together to practice with some single vowel phonemes so that you can learn and improve through your effort. The key words for our 4 additional single vowel phonemes can be placed in the following sentences. First, fill in the blanks with the correct spelling, and then write the words to show pronunciation. Here are the answers. How did you do? Did you answer them all correctly without looking back? We have been studying the vowel phonemes that are represented by single vowel letters. We will now turn our attention to those that are represented by a combination of letters. Say this word. The word oil is composed of 2 phonemes, 1 vowel and 1 consonant. They are represented by the graphemes OI and L. The OI functions as one phoneme called a diphthong. A diphthong is a single vowel phoneme represented by 2 letters, resembling a guide from one sound to another. In these phonics modules, I have made the arbitrary statement that there are 44 phonemes. It is really not that simple. Say this word aloud. Is the vowel phoneme equivalent to the phoneme heard at the beginning of use? Or should we consider EW a separate diphthong, not a duplication of any single vowel phoneme? Many phonics guides decide to consider that the EW in few is the long vowel U phoneme. So in this phonics unit, we will not call EW a diphthong. You will want to follow your curriculum and teacher's manuals regarding EW. It seems most helpful to classify only two of the vowel phonemes as diphthongs. These are the vowel sounds heard in oil and house. The OI and OU then represent two of the 44 speech sounds in our language. A diphthong begins with one vowel phoneme and then changes or glides into another phoneme. Examine the words shown. Underline the grapheme in each word that represents the diphthong heard in oil. There are two spellings that represent this diphthong, OI and OY. The second diphthong is that heard in the keyword house. Read these words and identify the diphthongs. This diphthong is also represented by two spellings, the OU and the OW. You need to remember to be careful and pronounce words aloud. The grapheme OU and OW often represent other phonemes. Let's practice and use your growth mindset to put it all together. Underline the diphthongs in the following words. Work with care. Be sure you underline only those words that have the vowel phonemes found in oil and house. Here are the correct answers. How did you do? Did the OU or OW graphemes represent something other than a diphthong trick you? Oh no! Fill in the blank. Here are the answers. Could you do it without looking back or forward for the answers?